Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and a warm welcome for all of you joining live today or potentially on demand from through our website, watching it later on. Equally welcome for all. I might have been muted, so let's do that again. So warm welcome for everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching, regardless of being live or on demand in YouTube. It's my pleasure to present to you once again. My name is Henry. I'm the sales director of Blueye. And as you can see, we produce what we believe to be the best underwater drone in the world. But today's topic, however, is more related to software than hardware. And we have a title of Why Reporting Matters. And this is something that I am extremely enthusiastic about. Personally, my history is more from the IT world and from hardware or tough heavy industries. So I truly believe in not really reporting but decision making. So the reason why we gather data in the first place is to make better decisions, and in that process reporting is extremely important, and that's what I'll try to do my best today to talk about how that relates to underwater inspections, to be very concrete here. Um, I'll get right at it. Before we start, a few general reminders. So there's the chat function. Please make sure that you write to everyone, or if you write to all panelists, then it will be only myself reading it. I would love to hear who you are and where are you joining from, and maybe even what are you expecting from today. Then there's the Q&A function, and that's a great place to ask specific questions. I'll do my best to read both of these functionalities, but at least the Q&A you'll have a better chance of hitting my attention today. And usually I do manage to go through all questions. Let's see how it goes today, how active crowd we have. But always I ask our visitors and guests to challenge myself. If you think I'm speaking complete nonsense, or you have a different experience, or you want to hear a little bit more, learn more, Q&A chat, that's your best chance today. And of course, the world goes on even after the webinar, so you can also contact me later on. I managed to set myself out in full screen, but now I'm back. Just looking a little bit about who's joining. Good afternoon, Stefan from Botanlus and Vinga, Ahmet, warm welcome. I'm just looking at, there's some familiar faces and some new names as well, but that's a great session setup for today. Jumping into the agenda, and let's see how we follow this today. I do want to take a little step and explain the starting position. We are talking about, or at least I am talking about, underwater drones. So I'll put that in a nutshell to start out with, so we can have a basis of what we do over here in Norway, and what the foundation is, what we build upon, but then slowly move from the hardware towards value generating applications like reporting. I'll go through a little bit of the status quo, so to say, in the market. What is out there in terms of reporting, and why should you report even in the first place? And towards the end, I do want to demonstrate what I believe to be the quickest underwater reporting tool in the market, and we'll do that firsthand. I'll show a video and then an example report, actually from last week when we did a ferry inspection for a customer. So I'll walk you through the process today. Good afternoon, Lars, Arfin, Martin, Southeast England, Elfian. Nice to see you. Hope everything's good in Singapore. And that was Elfian joining, so this is a good chance to start out with the basis of what we're talking about today: Blueye underwater drones. Who else can say it better than one of our customers and partners? So, David Pratt, the VP Marine Services, VP of Marine Services from Inchcape Shipping Services, is giving this quote that they believe that Blueye underwater drone is the best in its class, enabling quick and cost-effective inspections. What's behind this quote is that Inchcape tried half a dozen of portable, quickly deployed underwater drones or mini ROVs in the market before they decided to purchase 6-7 units to be deployed in different strategic ports all around the world as a way to do inspection services. And this is a great reference for us. All customers are, of course, equally, whether you're a fisherman from the north or an Inchcape operating in all ports. But the interesting part here is that when they say best in class, it means that they tried all the class. So that's something that I see put out very often by manufacturers as we're the best in class. But rather than stating it oneself, I'll put David's words out there. And good afternoon, Pedro, as well from Chile. So here we have one of our employees playing the role modeling as an inspector. I want to show this picture so everyone really grasps what the size of the unit is. What does portable mean? Portable means that you can carry it, the reel in one hand, the drone in one hand. If we're not modeling for pictures, we generally carry so that the camera is facing forward. That's the best Blueye etiquette to look good. But here it's posting backwards. But that's what portable means for us. I've seen many models out there where you come with one suitcase for the tether reel, you bring one suitcase for the ROV, and then you bring one suitcase for a laptop, and suddenly, at least I lost one hand over there. So for us, we work on a mobile platform. We use rugged iPads, Android devices, mobile phones, and this kind of helps us not, for example, have that suitcase for the laptop, but more importantly, this enables us to provide software solutions and quickly deploy these software solutions for all our existing customers. So there's 750 customers in 35 countries, and when we develop our software, like the reporting tool that I'm talking about today, it is deployed for all existing customers, whether they have been with us for 2 years or 2 weeks. They get the feature because we run on a mobile platform. Other examples is like our Blueye Buddy app, which enables multiple observers, spectators to watch at the same time. Also a great benefit of using a mobile platform on iOS or Android instead of industrial controllers with a built-in screen, which are fairly difficult to upgrade. So that goes into why software matters. I've also promised myself that the word easy to use, every time I see that in the industry, I will ask for a better explanation on what does easy to use mean. For us, it means that the unit can be deployed in 2 minutes. It means that my 75-year-old mother can do a sailboat inspection because the control system is intuitive. You do not need an engineering degree to start the drone, nor do you have to really maintain the drone. All you need to do is rinse the drone with fresh water after diving in the sea. So those are qualities that Blueye is here to do: provide user-friendly tools for surveyors, inspectors, any users, asset owners. one other key value that we have in our hardware that I like to bring up is the quality of camera. I do truly believe that we have one of the best footages coming out there. That's a really important part if we think about reporting. If you put bad data into the system, you put bad pictures in the system, you won't have a nice report, nor can you make decisions. So in this case, we're talking about an underwater visual inspection tool, so camera matters. And not only the optics of the camera, but also more specifically the control system. How intuitive is the controlling? How easy it is for the inspector to maneuver? And that's a design also performed by hardware and software, as well as the hydrodynamic design of the unit. If you look at that beautiful object in the picture, you'll see that it's quite a unique design, as it has a heavy bottom and a light top, which creates a self-stabilizing unit itself. So always when the drone moves in current, the camera will always be the most stable part of it. And that's something I want to highlight, as it is a clear input for today's topic, an input for the report. Just to summarize why Blueye, we believe, or from this day one since we started designing and building a unit, the user friendliness and having a tool that's nice to use, because professionals also deserve tools that are nice to use, that are not a hassle to turn on and worry about how things are. So user friendliness means specific choices in hardware, means a good user interface in software. Robustness, for us, that means that there's 750 units out there without a single leak. You can change the battery without using a pressure pump, for example. So durability is, of course, a key for us, and it relates to the second point that we want to emphasize: the Norwegian standard of quality and customer support. However, in the sales department and the commercial part, and the talking head of the webinar is Finn, but I'm very much taking a part into transforming into a Norwegian by culture. But lastly, dedicated engineers developing based on customer needs. To have that not just as words, the reporting function was not an idea that came right away, like, okay, let's do some kind of nice feature. No, we saw in the market that our customers were saying that there are as many reports as there are reporters. We need to actually work with this tool. This is not a toy. We need to post-process images. We need to post-process videos. We need to put them into enterprise systems. We really need to be consistent. And therefore, our engineers put their talent together and developed an in-app reporting tool that enables us to create reports directly within minutes after the inspection. So that today's topic is very much a story of dedicated engineers building based on needs. Already, I have been carried away. I love talking to all of you guys, but 15 minutes, and I want to encourage all of you to ask questions and challenge myself if there's anything that you don't agree upon, or you want to bring another topic there. I'm here, and I can see that there's this makes me actually even more proud of doing this. We have one of our competitors joining also our webinar today, so a warm welcome for you as well, and that's even a better chance to discuss with us. So hit us with some feedback how you see it, but that brings us pride to have competition watching our webinars as well. That's great. Talking about underwater reports today. As I mentioned, like our report, starting point for reporting is definitely coming from the customers. For example, Thomas Ottesen from Jotun says that, okay, we get just as many findings as we have reporters or inspectors. And that's not necessarily talking about reports, that's also talking about different kind of qualities in the market, and that's a starting position for Jotun. And he came to my webinar some months ago and to discuss their process. That's a nice webinar to watch from in YouTube. Just googling Blueye and Jotun, you'll find it. But the thought there is consistency and workflow. Those are extremely important factors to create consistency in reporting. In general, shipping customers or people working with hydro dams or governmental parties looking at infrastructure reports, inspections, waterworks, freshwater reservoirs, so on. There's so many use cases where there is a person or an entity who wants a report, and then there is the person who does the inspection. Very often the report is based on the service provider's process. It's very manual. I've seen wild reports that are built on PowerPoint, Excel, Word, and they're not really, they don't look nice, nor are they consistent. And that makes it difficult to compare A to A. If you have one kind of report at the port of Algeciras, and then you have a different kind of report coming from Panama, and then you have a different kind of report in Singapore, and then you're the decision maker in let's say Rotterdam, and you look at these reports, and you might just lose the whole kind of economy of scale of comparing many data points together if the reporting is not consistent. But that's definitely what I see. Like, of course, the status quo even today is that divers are doing these reports. And of course, a part of their job is to do the actual work using their hands. That's something that an ROV like ours, of course, can't do. But maybe the lack comes on the reporting end, at least based on what I talk to customers. The reporting is a weakness in the market today. How to ensure consistency? So in many areas of life, consistency is key to success, but how I see it and how our customers who deploy these units on a regular basis, not just here and there, they plan their dive. Of course, professional divers do the same. They plan the dive, they plan the workflow. So if we talk about the vessel, one would divide a vessel into, let's say, 4 sections, 8 sections, whatever is the process for your company, and then start from the same area. You start from the propeller and moving forward. And what I'm trying to say with that is keeping a consistent workflow, that all vessels are inspected in a similar manner. If you do hydro dam inspections, you start going from top to bottom or from bottom to surface, and keep consistent with the way you report. The way you inspect in order to report correctly. So process planning, workflow analysis for me is key to reporting, regardless of if you're doing it by diving or with ROVs, with our ROV or anyone else's. Today, time spent on reports really varies. Before, I can only speak from my personal experiences. Before we had the possibility, this feature of an in-app reporting tool, I'd go around the world when travel was permitted and doing inspections as a demonstrations for our customers. And every time I had to, I did the demo, I took the pictures and the images, and I shared some directly because we could use the mobile app like AirDrop to share the footage, but editing was somewhat challenging, and it's just 10 images that went from place A to B, and it was hard for the customers to grasp on what the location was. There wasn't any comments or anything like that. And when time went by, let's say I was busy and 3 days passed over and I hadn't done my report. And in the meantime, I've met 2-3 customers every day, and I'd come to my office and start building the report, trying to remember where I was in the vessel at a specific point of time. What was this point of interest? What was the client saying? What did they want? And then really trying to put things together. it took immense amount of time for me to create the report and send the report, and the quality was questionable because of just memory being really bad. So based on this experience also, it was very easy for us to start developing an in-app reporting tool, because you can do the report within minutes when the thoughts are fresh. You can combine the expertise of the inspector into the report. So I would not definitely call myself an expert. I'm an expert webinar head, if something, but these inspectors, they can analyze the fouling right away. They can see the crack in the dam. They can see if the anodes need to be changed at the port, and they can add that comment into the report, not just the image. So if you have an image and comments, that will be easy for someone to look at the report the next day, the next year, in 5 years, or the person itself even storing it for himself. So those are some thoughts why we started to develop this feature. I see there's a few questions, so I'll jump into that. Thank you. So Sham from Malaysia, does your report for UWALD inspection standard as per ABS DNV-BV also is the report final report or initial report that is presented after the work has been carried out? Yes, so the process with class societies is that they do have very much their own requirements for what needs to be reported. And I wouldn't say that our tool is built purely on class. It's built for all customer verticals, but the main factor is for a UWILD inspection. The surveyor needs to be classified by class, and whether then he chooses to use our tool to present the findings, it may be fine or it may not be fine. It's a bit of a gray area, unfortunately. But if you've been doing these kind of reports earlier, I'll jump into an example report very soon. So maybe you can tell me on how it looks and if it would fly. But we are working with class in terms of helping inspection companies, shipping companies themselves become certified as surveyors, so that they could use ROV footage as a tool, or live stream it and do the reporting. But my response might not be 100% on that, but let's see. Get back to me in 5 minutes after I've shown one report. Stefan is asking, do you have a format like PowerPoint for reports that can also include video in addition to photos from the drone dive? Currently, the report tool that I will show soon will come out as a Word document or a PDF directly. And if it's the Word document, you can obviously make notes, markups directly with your phone or tablet, or go back later with your desktop and do the edits. If you would want to distribute videos, one could, for example, go into a tool like Microsoft Streams, which is a great way of sharing footage. So it would not go into the specific tool that I'm showing today, but you're touching very much a point that will come soon. So distributing images and findings is one part, and then really distributing videos in a consistent way is something that we're working on with our customers, and an enterprise tool like Microsoft Streams could be a good tool to distribute stuff. How much cost, please? I asked for email, but I don't have answer. Thanks a lot. So you can find our prices, for example, at blueye.no/shop, or write me an email, henry@blueye.no, and you will get information regarding our pricing. It is approximately between 12 to 15,000 US dollars. Thanks for the questions. I'll show a little video of how the report is built in the app, and then walk through the report itself. So let's see how technology works today. All right, so this is a video of our mobile app we use for controlling. Here it goes a bit fast, but you can see after the dive, you download the images here. wish to do, it's quite simple to act based on that. And I know that went fairly quickly, and therefore we can look at the report. Just a sec. I lost my screen, but here. And the intention here is not really that you need to read specifically what's written in the report. If you wish, I can share this example report in the follow-up, but I'll walk you through how it is. So everything here on the upper side of it, on the blue area, is pre-automated data. It comes from the dive itself, so the reporter, the inspector, doesn't need to fulfill this information manually. So you have date, start time, stop time, dive time, average depth, and so on, and then it has the GPS coordinates of above the surface. And this is good for consistent storage. So when you do a lot of inspections, you may lose track of where you were, what time it was. You do several per day. There's plenty of possibilities to enhance the report. For example, adding information from a vessel and then connecting GPS based on that, connecting weather data, so on and so on. A lot of possibilities to work with the report for customers who already have our unit. If you look at the text part here, this is a part where it is possible to edit. So our inspector, Trund, in this case, has done some markings for the customer explaining that it's a live demo at a 110 meter ferry. The conditions above sea were this and this, 2 meter seconds from the west, air temperature 5, current 20 centimeters, so on and so on. But this is a manual part. If you would want to send this report within minutes, you'd probably go with the pre-automated phase from the blue and then just add the images below. But here, Trund came to the office and I wanted to fulfill a proper kind of forward for this customer we did last week. It gives you the dive profile, and then we move into the more interesting part. And I know it's a bit small over here, but we're doing a ferry inspections, and this also shows how detailed the footage is. So instead of you never know who's watching the report. So for an expert, he'll see right away, okay, this is good, the safety pins are there. However, Trond, as an expert, he has done the writing here. Let me see if I get it with my mouse, the overlay. He has wrote his comments under the image. So you have the physical proof of the picture, and then he's done his comments on safety pins on propeller bolt, present and approved. Some light fouling can be seen on the propeller. And this is extremely important because in many cases the inspector is a professional. He can analyze the distance to the asset. He knows how far he was, and he knows he can immediately write what he felt. Like it says light fouling, so you can scroll through, and it depends on the company's process. One could have let's say a scale here, if that's a decision made, that you every inspector scales the picture or the assets condition from 1 to 5. You have traffic light scale, whatever. But going next, here we were below the rudder and underside the aft rubber. No fouling, no visible damages, no fraying objects found. So in this place, Trund did analysis on himself. If he were to find something interesting, in this case would be rudder axle of aft rudder underside, blue muscle built up on the underside, no damages. A cool feature, which again goes to the fact that we can use a mobile phone or an iPad, is that in this tool, even with your phone having this Word document open, you can draw images. You can draw with your finger. You can highlight areas with red or green so that one can really scroll through a report quickly and make analysis. In this case, it hasn't been done, but it would be possible to either write or use a marker to find. And again, lower sink anode, port side of the aft rudder reduction is acceptable. So this is something that I'm maybe most often challenged by our customers is the positioning. So how do you know where you are below the surface? Okay, the inspector knows where he is. He has the vessel drawings, or he has the hydro dams drawings, or he has the port drawings next to him. He's a professional. He plans his dive. He has experience with the ROV. He doesn't know exactly within centimeters where he is, but he has a very good hunch where he is, let's say, within a few meters. However, if you're not physically there, you may have a hard time knowing the distance to the anode, for example, in the picture. But the person doing the inspection knows exactly that he's around 1 meter away. How to communicate this distance from the inspection to all across the other part of the world, or 5 years ahead of time, so that you get position, you get distance, you get the look and feel what you get from live stream image when you are inspecting. Well, one way is to apply 5 to 10,000 US positioning system to collect that data. But very few customers are actually willing to put that price on it, and they still want to know where they are. So my suggestion and solution is to use the expertise of the inspector. So Trond has written over here that it's on the port side of the aft rudder. So do you trust the inspector? That's not a specific place, but he could be very specific. He could point out a reference point from the vessel's drawings. He could point out a specific place for whatever drawing is available, so that when both parties look at these reports to the drawings, they can really map up where they are. And this reporting is a way of communicating not only analysis of the condition of the asset, but also where you are physically present. So I have won several shipping clients just by talking about how to communicate. 'Cause at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how the solution is fixed. I mean, they need to know where was this picture taken. And if someone can communicate it to them easily and trustworthily, it works just as fine as expensive equipment. And it's just being smart, in my opinion. And I mean, this is just showcasing images with comments and what the kind of report looks like, what kind of details are here, what kind of entry point, if you have a workflow flow from going from aft to bow, or anything like that. That's very easily customizable. Today we're using a workflow that we have on ourselves, and it is not specific. We're an underwater drone manufacturing company, but if you were a company that has a inspection process, let us know. We can do great things with the reporting tool and automate how these images are stored or put into place. So Sham, what are your thoughts on would this kind of report fly with class based on your experience? So I know that the first starting point is that you have to be approved by class to even do an analysis, but I personally don't know how the images or the findings are shared. I know one way of sharing it is through live streaming, and that I've been present myself when vessels have been approved by through live streaming to carry on sailing in, for example, in a case of a damage survey. All right, lost my slides a bit. I'm going towards the end of my presentation. However, I do want to ask if there's any questions at all coming from you guys watching and listening. Please challenge myself. But before I finish, I want to conclude today's topic: how to improve your reports. And this is not necessarily one way is of course to fly a Blueye ROV and use a reporting tool, but to be serious, I do want to emphasize the consistent inspection process. There are many companies who've been out there for longer than I've been able to walk, so I'm not telling these professionals how to inspect, but there are also many companies who will just buy some tool and then just start playing around and being an inspection company. So to really be successful in professional inspections, you have to be consistent with your process. You have to understand what the workflow is, what the requirements of your customer is, and then first of all, had a tool that can provide good enough input to be put into a report, and then from the report or video so that the end customer can make those decisions, or the decision maker can make those decisions. High quality hardware and software really matters. You can have the best optics, or not, maybe not the best optics, but the best optics on a mobile phone in the world. However, after a few too many beers, your hand is shaking like this, the image is not going to be very good. So it's not about the camera optics, it's about the overall design of the unit, where you want to look at maneuverability, stability in current, the control system, and then also the resolution and the optics of the camera. And then you put it into some place where decisions are made or stored. So it's a process on its own. I do believe that the user, the inspector, the person doing these inspections should have, first of all, a great tool that they like to use and a great tool that works. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to trust on technology if it's dusting somewhere at the end of the office. But the ability to comment, put those comments out there, to show position, to show analysis, to have the expert have its say, so that other people can come together to make better decisions. Those are such few examples that I showed in Trond's inspection, where he was roughly marking his position where he was, and then giving just like a scale of good bad on the fouling. So that's really key to enable the person. And do you want to have those comments in an email combined with 15 pictures, or a zip file, or a video, and then these images and emails go back and forth, and you CC like 15 different people trying to get a hold of it? Maybe you lose the comments from the email. Could have happened, I don't know. But when the comments are in the report is a PDF. At least then it's stored, and there's the operator's markings and contact details. So there's a few things to think about when enabling the user. My last point is comparing apples to apples for best analysis. And by this I mean that if you use one tool over here and another tool over there, if you use a human over there and a GoPro over here, if you use a video over there and a picture over there, you don't have a standardized process for reports. It's going to be very hard to do really forward-looking decisions based on this footage. So there it really matters that you're consistent with your reporting, and you're consistent with your software. Stefan says, how accurate is the GPS position? When is the position delivered for the report? That depends a bit on the positioning system itself. So we would have to look at that more in detail. And for now, we are not don't have an integration on the positioning system, but we're very much developing together with some third-party companies to have more specific solutions out there in the market come next year. But it depends a lot on which system you're using and how it's going. So it is not necessarily something available currently, or battery run positioning systems are available today, but they need a separate system for integrating and using it. So there are customers using reporting already, but the integration part is coming up in the near future. All right. We are having 5 minutes of time left on the original agenda. I would really like to hear comments or feedback. Let me know how what you thought about this, or if you have any questions for Blueye about reporting or the drone itself. Please let me know. One way to connect with me is shoot me an email, henry@blueye.no, or always the wrong side here. Just check my name and add me in LinkedIn, for example, so you'll stay in touch and get up-to-date information on our upcoming webinars and updates when we do. In 2 weeks, Thursday 17th, I'll have a webinar regarding what does easy to use mean. I hope that was a title, but in general, like I mentioned, I really want to challenge the word easy to use and how fluffy that is. So on that session, I'll spend 45 minutes describing what easy to use means, with details coming from the hardware design all the way to software decisions. All right. If we don't get any more questions, I will give a warm thank you for everyone. For me, it is the end of the day. I will go have a well-needed rest before the last day of the week. For those of you joining across the Atlantic, I wish you a very warm and successful day and end of the week. It was very nice to have you here live, and for all of you who watched the recording to the end, I appreciate your time. Take care, stay safe, and let me know if I can ever be of assistance. I am doing this all for you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.